Ghana is a very interesting country. This is a country in whose constitution, which is the fundamental law, the right to protest is guaranteed. You don't see that in many constitutions around the world. In this particular constitution, provision is made for the right to demonstrate. That's very interesting. Now, what does that mean in our real life? Tomorrow, today, some people watching this show can decide that they've seen your beautiful watch and that such beautiful watches should not be worn on morning shows. They have a right to protest against the watch we are wearing.
Right.
They may decide that, the table behind which we are sitting ought to be rectangular instead of its L shape. They have a right to demonstrate.
Right.
In fact, the people of Ghana have a right to demonstrate if they think that there's too much milk on the shelves of our supermarkets and so on. So citizens have a right to protest, to demonstrate, to speak out. And I think it's important that that right to demonstrate is not fettered. And in my view, the New Patriotic Party should actually be encouraged to demonstrate. We should encourage them, everybody who wants to uphold the tenets of the Constitution should be encouraging them to demonstrate. And I think they should be given every assistance necessary, you understand, for this demonstration to take off. They must be given police protection. They must be given everything that the state has to provide in order to ensure that this demonstration, takes off and there's no incident. Perhaps at the end of the day tomorrow, we would have proven one thing, that in this country, the Constitution can still be respected.
Yes.
And that citizens' right to protest is not being kept, right, and so on. So encourage them, encourage the New Patriotic Party to organize the demonstration. And I have no difficulty at all
with that.
With the New Patriotic Party organizing a demonstration, tomorrow. There are some things, however, that I think we need to interrogate, and these are important matters. For example, one of the issues that they are flagging is the decision of the Court of Appeal in respect of Sedina Tamako. You understand?
Yes.
Now that's very interesting, because the New Patriotic Party and the government of Ghana agree on everything. They're on the same page.
True.
You understand?
Yes.
What is the New Patriotic Party saying? The New Patriotic Party is saying that she should not have won the case at the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
And that the law, in their view, may not have been properly interpreted and so on. What is the Attorney General's position? The Attorney General has filed
an appeal
against the decision of the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
So both the New Patriotic Party and the government of Ghana agree on this particular case.
Yes.
Why protest? Is the protest against the Court of Appeal? Is it against the government of Ghana? Is it against the NDC? I don't understand. Somebody has to do some explanation. You understand? Now, there's a question that I like to pose, and I know that Richard is quite smart. He'll be able to provide an answer, and I would like to listen to that answer. Just in case, Sedina happened to be a leader of the New Patriotic Party. Would the New Patriotic Party have taken the stand that it has taken today? That's an interesting question. Now, the answer to this question ought to take into account the fact that several of the leaders of the New Patriotic Party are facing trial. In fact, one has just received a conviction. You understand? So, what principle are they establishing? And would that principle be applicable to all persons, irrespective of the party that they belong to? This is an important question, and I believe that my brother and friend will be able to answer that, with his usual eloquence. You understand? Now, we are told also that there have been some convictions, I suppose, which are an aberration when it comes to the constitutional order, the rule of law, and so on. And I'm sitting here and I'm wondering. Yesterday, I heard one of the leaders of the party speak about the conviction of persons for speech. He says, just speech. How can you convict people for speech and so on? And I'm sitting back and I'm wondering, speech. Speech can become a really potent weapon. You understand? And under the laws of every country in the world, some speech is criminalized. There's no country in the world where some speech is not criminalized. You see, for example, if you sat on a media like this one and you call for the overthrow of a government, that's treason.
That's not free speech.
It doesn't come under the rubric of free speech. Calling for the overthrow of government is not free speech. You can't hide under free speech to be calling on people to overthrow a government.
Right.
It is punishable. And indeed, if that was not punished, every country would just drive straight into anarchy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, is it okay for citizens under the rubric of free speech to be publicly on mass media be advocating the burning of other opponent party headquarters? Can I sit here today and say that, look, the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party should be burned down tomorrow morning, and I'm going to buy gasoline to burn down the New Patriotic Party headquarters? Would that be lawful? It is just speech. It is speech. But is that lawful speech? And which country in the world would tolerate that as just lawful speech and not take action? At least to protect the public interest, to protect property, and to protect life. If I came here this morning and announced on your platform that, look, I want to kill the president. Not just the president, I want to kill the president and kill his wife. And not just that, after killing them, I will put their bodies in cocoa sacks. It is speech, isn't it? Is that lawful speech? Is that speech which should not be punished? Is that speech which should not be criminalized? And so on. So I think that we've got to come to terms. We've got to define clearly what is it that we are protecting. Otherwise, we are pushing this country onto the brink of total anarchy and irresponsible politicking. You understand? So these are legitimate questions, I hope, that I can put forward.
Okay, so before you go ahead, sorry, the issue about the threats matter. I've heard some people who say, well, look at the person who is issuing the threat. Now, while can he or she do what they say they will do? Just let the person, just forget, ignore.
Tomorrow, interesting issue that we have raised. Let's assume that you have a completely crazy person, somebody who's lost his marbles, somebody whose faculties are not working properly, somebody in tattered clothes, and so on. If that person says he's going to burn the Bank of Ghana, what are you going to use to come to the conclusion that the person is not fit to burn the Bank of Ghana? What does it take to burn any public building?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I get the point.
Tell me, anybody who threatens to commit arson should be dealt with according to the law. We must insist on the rule of law. That's what we should be insisting on. And no other thing, the rule of law. Now, in all of this, pontifications and so on, I would like to hear something. I would like to hear that my brother Richard Ahiagba has been convicted and that the offense for which he has been committed is not an offense created by law. Then we'll be talking. But if an offense is a creation of law, and the law courts convict on the basis of the offense which is a creation of law, where is our problem?
Right.
We have a right as citizens to act for leniency, compassion. The president has power to pardon. So you can every day call on the president to pardon some people who have been convicted. But you must clearly state the grounds for compassion. True or false?
True.
Grounds for compassion must be clearly stated.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
One of the issues which has been raised and has been raised quite strongly by my friends, including Richard this morning, is the issue of selective justice. If it's proven, it will be quite a serious, indictment on the government. If it's proven. The selective justice is something that we should never tolerate because it undermines all the principles of the rule of law and so on. If it's proven, it's a serious matter.
Right.
Okay. But one of the things that I've heard said is that the government took power, and after taking power, persons belonging to the political party that put up President Mahama for the election, NDC and so on, their cases have been withdrawn from the courts, and others are being prosecuted. If it's true, it's serious, especially if you can prove that it's against the law, it's a violation of the law. But here we are. In the case of Kwabena Dufo and others, and so on, what happened? Plea bargaining, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened, plea bargaining. What is happening with regards to is it NPP Wuntuni's case and this bank? What is the bank?
Is it Ghana Exim Bank?
Ghana Exim Bank.
Yes.
Is it not plea bargaining?
Yes, it's plea bargaining.
So plea bargaining is being applied in both cases.
Except in his case, the Attorney General has turned it down. He says he's not interested.
No, the Attorney General is saying that he's not satisfied with the offer he's
Absolutely.
making. So if he made an offer,
yes,
then the Attorney General was satisfied with,
then they can talk.
His case will not be tried by the court.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So if you compare the two cases, where lies the selective justice? I'm struggling. If it can be proven, I'll be happy.
Yes.
And so on.
Yes.
Where lies the selective justice and so on? I'm struggling, you understand? But not just that, my brother. Not just that. There are some facts which are not public yet, but I'll just pose questions. Dr. Opuni was tried for purchasing inferior, what is it?
It's a liquid fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Yes.
Inferior quality fertilizer.
Yes.
That's what he was tried on. And the trial went on for at least 7 years without any conclusion. It was likely to continue and so on.
Yes.
Trials cost money. I just want to ask 2 or 3 questions.
Okay.
That fertilizer, for which Dr. Opuni was being tried, where is the fertilizer?
They have been used. They were used by the government.
Are you sure?
Yes. They were used by Cocoa Board. Randy came and told us here.
Oh.
Yes, they were used by Cocoa Board. They didn't throw them away.
Should I continue?
No, you don't have to.
Should I continue?
We'll take a break.
That fertilizer for which he was being tried
Yes, was used by the government.
was used.
Yes,
Mo,
everything.
you are taking a break?
Yes, we'll take a break. No, I'll come back to you after the break.
That fertilizer was used.
Yeah, it was used.
The cocoa farmers
Everything,
used
not
it.
even
Everything.
If you're
yes.
taking a long break,
Is it even possible? Is it even possible? And I'm guided that some people sold the same quality of fertilizer
Yes.
at higher prices to the cocoa board.
It's possible.
So if that trial is discontinued, what is the problem?
He's NDC, so don't discontinue his trial.
Oh, that is the case.
Yes, we finish, so don't discontinue.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Master,
Mo,
I'll
let me borrow.
rest here.
Yes.
I'll rest here.
all right.
You think if an NPP president, NPP won't be clapping? They would. They'll be happy if he were NDC, whose case was this. Let
me say what I want to say in my own words.
All right.
I deliberately chose my words.
I know.
I calculated
Rhetorical
very
question.
carefully.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.